Hey, and welcome back. It's your boy, the Hobbyist, here to review or go over another thing that I've been trying out for the past little bit. If you thought 3D printing was about the dorkiest thing in the world, then boy, do I have news for you. I've reached peak nerdum over these past couple of weeks. I tried out being a DM. For those of you who do not know what that is, it's short for Dungeon Master, which is a role that you can assume in the hit tabletop role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons, which is essentially just like you come up with a story and there's a bunch of books full of rules or ways to go about doing certain things, and you and the people you're playing with kind of role play or assume positions within that story, and then you go about overcoming challenges and obstacles, and a lot of the results of what you're trying to do are determined by rolling dice or taking chances, kind of throwing in a little bit of a chance gambling in the mix. So that combination of things makes for a good amount of diversity and just different things that you can end up doing. And I'd played with some of my friends a good couple of times just as a player for the past little bit. But upon taking on this video project challenge, I decided I wanted to take on the role of the DM, or the kind of like the person orchestrating or the narrator, for a change. So at this point, I've DM'd a couple times for some of my friends, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. I'm trying to be all official. I got this big old notebook, and I'm throwing on tabs and kind of just throwing myself into it as much as I can, as well as got a couple other things to help me out, and so I'm kind of throwing myself into this wholeheartedly, and it's been a lot of fun, but it can be kind of confusing where to start and like what the end result looks like. And one of the joys of Dungeons and Dragons is a lot of that is up to you, in what direction you want to take that. My process was, I'm a bit of an imaginative person. I always come up with fun ideas for stories or situations or things like that. So I ended up just starting off by writing down a big old list of or keeping track of a list of all the things that, or ideas that I've been having. And then from there, it's just sitting down and hashing out a somewhat coherent story. You don't want to add too much of your own stuff to it, just because then it becomes you telling a story rather than you and all of your buddies playing through it. So you do need a decent amount of give, just so that the rest of the players can add their flair to it. But I do the story. I come up with that. I write out a loose script, personalities for NPCs or different people that they interact with to follow, fights that could pop up, or different like puzzles or challenges that they can overcome. And from there, I've been using this application called Dungeon Draft to come up with maps. I'll throw on a couple maps real quick, just some of the things that I've made over the past little bit. And so these are just kind of references, so people know, can better visualize what's going on, I guess. But if you want to get a little bit more fancy, there's also a website called Roll20, I want to say, where you can like upload the pictures of maps or things like that, and it's like an actual playing mat that people can upload like their stuff to, and then in live real time, people can like move stuff around on the board and stuff. It looks pretty fancy, but I haven't gotten quite that far into it just yet. And so with having to keep track of a story as well as actually narrate and play through the game, and if you want to go as far as to make maps and stuff like that, as you could probably imagine, it does take a lot to be a DM. Even if you're being super loose with how you do it, it can take a lot of time. And with work and school, I don't know if I quite have enough time to keep investing into it as much as I would like to. And so if you have time, if you have the freedom with your schedule to keep this up, 100% do it. It's so much fun. And maybe I'm investing a little bit more than I should be into this. But if you are a busy person, and it gets kind of tough, maybe I'd almost suggest staying as a player for now, if you still are interested in playing Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, but it is a ton of fun if you do have that chance, if you do have that opportunity. I'm going to keep trying it out for a little bit, just because we're going to have the break before too much longer, and that'll make that a lot easier. But yeah, my overall thoughts is it's tough. It's a lot to learn. You got to memorize a lot of rules, or you got to know a lot of rules, and you got to be able to come up with fun and entertaining situations planned out as well as on the fly, because your players are going to do who knows what with the story that you came up with, because they can end up taking it in a completely different direction, and you got to kind of just wing it. Yeah, but it is a lot of fun, and if this is something that you haven't tried out before but you are interested in, my recommendation is to look into some of the local card shops. There's card shops in just about any city. Go give them a call. A lot of them have preset Dungeons and Dragons nights with stories and people already, there participating, and they usually are pretty good about letting other people join in. Or just find a friend group and dive into it there. But that just requires everybody to learn a lot of stuff all at once. So I'd probably recommend going to card shops and getting involved in a group that's already pretty established. Yeah, but a lot of fun. Hopefully this was helpful, and I will catch you guys later.